A big blow for US-NATO-Ukraine. Thousands of secret documents with Ukrainian counterattack plans have been leaked to Moscow. And a tweet by Aaron Buma, military specialist, actually autistic, said, "God, I hope they find the a-hole who's leaked classified NATO documents on the buildup of assets to Ukraine. What's exposed can damage things. Serious breach of U.S. national security," he says. I should think so. Secret documents detailing U.S. and NATO plans to build up the Ukrainian army were leaked on Twitter and Telegram and are now in Russian possession and already being dusted off by Russian analysts. Who did this? The documents are considered to put the planned Ukrainian counteroffensive, which is to be launched at some point in the front lines in the next few days, in great jeopardy. The Pentagon is looking to find out who is responsible for the leak, which is a serious breach of U.S. national security, of course. Military analysts say some of the documents appear to have been altered, in part in an effort to spread disinformation from Moscow. In any case, the revelations of maps of arms deliveries, troop strengths, and other plans are a blow to American intelligence efforts. Government officials worked hard to erase them, but were unsuccessful as of Thursday afternoon. Quote, "We are aware of the reports of social media posts and the department is looking into the matter," end quote, said Sabrina Singh, Deputy Secretary, Press Secretary at the Pentagon. The documents do not provide specific battle plans such as how, when, and where Ukraine plans to launch its attack, which U.S. officials say is likely to take place in the next month or so. And because the documents are 5 weeks old, they offer a snapshot in time, the American and Ukrainian views as of March 1st of what Ukrainian troops might need for this campaign. However, to the trained eye of a Russian general or intelligence analyst, the documents undoubtedly offer many tantalizing clues and information. They mention, among other things, the rate of spending on HIMARS, the American rocket systems that can launch attacks from a distance. The Pentagon has not publicly stated how quickly Ukrainian troops are using HIMARS munitions, but the documents do. Analysts said today that it may be difficult to gauge the impact of the disclosure of the documents on frontline battles this season and in the coming months. Analysts said Friday that it may be difficult to gauge the impact of the documents' disclosure on frontline battles. Russia's recent offensive has struggled to make gains in eastern Ukraine, and Western analysts are debating whether the Russian military, having suffered staggering losses, is capable of mounting another or resisting a Ukrainian offensive. It was unclear how the documents ended up on social media, of course. However, pro-Russian government channels are sharing and circulating the briefed slides, military analysts said, the briefing slides, but analysts said parts of the documents would provide Russia with valuable information, such as timetables for the delivery of weapons and troops, the number of Ukrainian troop buildups, and other military details. The document labeled Top Secret offers the status of the conflict as of March 1st. That day, Ukrainian officials were at a U.S. base in Wiesbaden, Germany for war gaming sessions, and a day later, General Mark Milley, the chief of the Joint Chief of Staffs, and General Christopher Cavoli, the top Allied commander for Europe, participated in that meeting. Another document includes columns listing Ukrainian troop units, equipment, and training with timeline from January to April. The document contains a summary of 12 combat brigades being assembled, 9 of which are apparently being trained and equipped by the United States and other NATO allies. Of these 9 brigades, the documents indicated that 6 would be ready by 31st of March and the rest by the 30th of April. The Ukrainian brigade has about 4,000 to 5,000 soldiers, analysts said. The document said equipment delivery times will affect training and readiness in order to meet the schedule. The total equipment needed for 9 brigades, the document said, was more than 250 tanks and more than 350 TOMAs. That the documents fell into the hands of Russian officials is a major achievement for Moscow at the time when Russia appeared to be lagging behind the United States in gathering intelligence on Ukraine. The leak is the first major discovery by Russian intelligence to be made public since the start of the war. Throughout the war, the United States provided Ukraine with information for command posts, ammunition depots, and other key nodes in the Russian military lines. Such real-time intelligence allowed the Ukrainians to target Russian forces and senior generals and force munition supplies to move farther from Russia front lines, although U.S. officials say Ukraine played a decisive role in planning and executing these attacks. Of course, this is not the case. If it was not for the U.S., Ukraine would have fallen in 3 weeks at the most. But early in the war, Ukrainian officials were reluctant to share their battle plans with the United States for fear of leaks, American and European officials said. As recently as last summer, U.S. intelligence officials said they often had a better understanding of Russia's military plans than Ukraine's. And of course, this is unbelievable. Concerned that sharing their operational plans could also highlight weaknesses and discourage continued U.S. support, the Ukrainians kept secret even as U.S. intelligence gathered precise details of what the Kremlin was ordering and Russian commanders were planning. These, the New York Times said so, of course. However, such a leak of information here, published on social media and available worldwide, is sure to harm the exchange of information between Ukraine and the United States. This leak may further delay the Ukrainian counterattack because essentially the Russians have learned everything about it by March 1st. But by then the bulk of its planning and programming had been done. The damage, therefore, appears particularly large to very large. It's noted that the Americans announced that they will supply Ukraine with American M1A2 Abrams tanks in October. A decision that raises many questions, but may ultimately be related to the leak of the documents itself. The documents may have recently been published on social media, but that does not mean that they were not leaked much earlier and Americans did not know about it. Even the persistence of the Russians in recent days in Uglandar, which prevents the Ukrainian attack from Zaporizhzhia region, as well as the creation of the Kursk-style pockets where they will wait for Western tanks to destroy them, worries the Americans who were waiting that the Russians would expand on the Ukrainian fronts, leaving their backs and flanks exposed, infiltrations by the 12 Ukrainian brigades prepared by then with a total strength of 60 to 70,000 men. And this is from Pro News. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box